It has been so long since I've done this. We're nerds, visualize your vocabulary, turning any SAT and ACT word into a picture and remembering it forever. Man, let's do this again. And let's just continue from last time where we left off. Alright, our first word is enigma. Now, enigma is like a noun here, and it just basically means you're kind of confused about something too. Sort of a mystery, in fact. An enigma of something is like a mystery. In fact, that's why the Germans, when they went ahead and used those encrypting machines during World War II to send their messages, they basically called it the Enigma machine because it was such a complicated code. But then they made a little mistake. They added the same word in every message at the every end. Eilitla. And with that, you can go ahead and do anything too. You remember this with an egg mom. An egg mom. And with this, you remember this like this. Alright, so I thought that was a little kind of angel thingy on top of your head. By the way, this person is Jamaican. And so I thought you were an angel, but then I realized it's just an egg above you, Mon. I am perplexed, Mon. I'm not sure where that Mon came from, so. Alright, our next word is abstruse. Abstruse is an adjective, and this just basically means pretty hard to explain, to have abstract roots and everything to that. It's pretty enigmatic, which is kind of, it's like the adjective version of enigma. And so basically saying, alright, so I got like ripped abs yesterday, and now I have these abs to roots. I have these roots in my abs now. What do I do, doctor? Even the doctor's perplexed. Lol. Alright, our next word is torpid. Now, torpid is an adjective, and this just basically means you're kind of dormant. You're like, I'm kind of tired right now. I don't really want to do any of this. I'm inactive. I'm very sluggish. I just want to sleep. And basically, this is torpid. This is, you remember it with tar pit. Tar pit. The velociraptor is supposed to be the fastest dinosaur on land, but now, well, he's been stuck in this tar pit for a while now, and so he's now a bit sluggish. He just wants to sleep. Alright, our next word is brazen. Brazen just basically means you're pretty brash. You're doing something that's unconventional for the time. Something that you should probably not be doing. And you remember this with raisins. Now, the raisins' job are to lay down in the sun and then get themselves cooked up all the way to get all their water leaked out. Except for this brash raisin who's not doing his job too. This brash raisin, in fact, is just doing a terrible job at his work. He's inside the shade, he's drinking coconuts, and he even has sunscreen on and sunglasses. He's the perfect human, if he wasn't a raisin. There'd never be a brazen person in your life, kids. Never. Our next word is vainglorious. Now, vainglorious is an adjective, and it just basically means you're very arrogant. You're kind of the kind of person who says, I love myself. You're the one with the bigger ego. When someone's vainglorious, that just basically means they're very, they're vain, and they're glorious. They think they're glorious, but it's in vain. Now, this vampire is special. He can see himself in the mirror. How do we know he's a vampire? Well, he has fangs that naturally grow out of him. Firstly, of course, this is glorious, and he calls his fangs glorious. He looks at himself in the mirror every day and says, well, such glorious fangs, man. Such glorious fangs. Yeah, he's very vainglorious. Alright, this is Liberty Bell, and so our next word will be bellicose. Bellicose is an adjective, and this just basically means you just want to go ahead and you want to pick a fight. You really want to fight someone, and while you're going ahead and fighting that person, you just really need to take a taunt. You remember this with Bell on Coast. Remember it with the Liberty Bell. The Liberty Bell is very bellicose right now, and you can find out why by just saying, you can find out why that he is bellicose, because every time a surfer passes him, he's all like, come here, you man, come here and fight me like a man if you want, if you know what's going on. Unless you want to keep walking, then you're a coward. And the surfer to keep walking. Who wants to fight a metal bell? Our next one is, contumacious. Contumacious is an adjective, and this just basically means you're going ahead and you're being very froward. Meaning you're sort of a little annoying. And by annoying, I mean stubbornly resistant to authority. So this is the warden, this is the prisoner, and the warden says, well, you look at the con, alright? You like tomato juice, but you can't beat up other people for tomato juice, you know? So even other people are calling you con and tomato juice right now. If you keep doing this, it's solitary confinement for you. And no tomato juice. And so the con is kind of like, I'm not sure what to do right now. But then again, he is contumacious, so he may just try to break out. Next up, we have heed. Heed is is a verb, and it just basically means to go ahead and be cautious. Heed my warning, child. If you don't, well, I'm sorry, but that's the end for you. Alright, fine. It actually means caution. And you remember this with feed. So you are a babysitter, and the mom of the baby actually tells you this. Heed my warning, kid. Every hour, and as soon as it strikes every hour, you have to feed the baby. You'll find out that he's grumpy. You'll find out when he needs to feed, because he'll be grumpy if he hasn't eaten, or at least drunk, for an hour. And by drunk, I mean baby bottles. Look at how many baby bottles the mom prepared, and you have to always look at the clock. You can't do something for like a few hours without him being angry. Wow. Alright, so this one is pretty funny. It's called vexation. Vexation is like a noun, and this just means something that is very annoying. That makes it very irritating too. This man is almost out of gas, so he went ahead and he stopped to the nearest gas station for gas. He realized it's out of gas, and then he looks at the next gas station. It's 100 miles away. He's frustrated because he has only enough for 90 miles, and that's terrible for him too. He only has enough for like a few miles, and so he just can't do much more. So he, out of frustration, bangs the steering wheel, which deploys the airbag. La. And finally, we have foppish. Foppish is an adjective, and it just basically means to have a very refined taste, to have cultural taste. So there's this big tuxedo man who wants to go ahead and meet his old high school friends. So he goes up there, and then they are very glad to see him because they're going to eat seafood, and they know he likes seafood too, and they're like, hey, let's make a mess of crawfish tonight. And he's like, no, I think I'll stick with sushi and lobsters. Sorry, but I like an elegant taste. Sorry if that offends you. I'm sorry if that offends you. And with that, we have all these words done. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I hope to see you guys in the next one. And so until the next time, I'm here. Sean out. Peace. Bye-bye. Word Nerd! Helping you with the SATs since 2000 something.